Hello guys, we have made it to the end of 2024. I can't believe it, to be honest. Watching back all this footage made me realize how much has actually happened, and like every year I am doing my annual tradition of using my same New Year's journal prompts and creating a vision board to kind of step into the new year with a bit more clarity and excitement. So hopefully they can help you as much as they helped me. I feel like for me, something about candles and scents can really just get me into a relaxed, reflective zone. If you guys want to journal with me using my prompts and questions to reflect and set intentions for the new year, I do encourage you guys to just put a little effort into like making the space around you feel good, whether that be lighting a candle, making yourself some tea, maybe putting some oil on you. Whatever your little rituals are, do them. The other day I just was journaling in bed. My boyfriend was still sleeping next to me, and then I was like, you know what, I just kind of want to read back on some of my goals and intentions for 2024 and kind of see. And it was just so crazy. I'm just gonna read you, like, it's quite personal, but I'll just read you like a little part. Past Joy wrote this about where she hoped future Joy, current Joy, would be. When I close my eyes, I see me living somewhere I feel inspired, safe, and loved. It's just crazy that Joy had no idea that she was going to move to Melbourne, but she knew that she wanted to be in a city and feel inspired. I mean, I didn't say city, but like, I knew it was that thing of like, I want to be inspired, I want to be where things are, I want to feel safe as well though. And I feel like that's one of the things I said in my last Q&A about the difference I feel like with Melbourne and London. Even though like Melbourne of course isn't like all safe, there's no place that's like 100% safe, and you know, cities have it all, but I do generally feel a lot safer here. And I think that was something that I felt like coming back from London, I was just really craving just to feel a little bit more at ease after being alone in a city so far away from family. I can feel there is a masculine figure with me, and he feels sweet, safe, grounded, and is so easy to love. This just made me so happy because I'd kind of forgot how much I was trying to call in love and a really healthy relationship this year. I was like so certain that I was not settling. I was like, I want to fall in love, but I don't want it to just be like another person. I want it to feel so good and like I'm fulfilling all my dreams. And it was so crazy reading this in bed while my boyfriend's still asleep next to me and being like, whoa, like January Joy just hoped and dreamed of feeling the way that I feel right now. I still feel clear and excited about myself, my career, and my future, and he just adds to that. There is flow and it all falls into place. I just felt like crying when I read that because I was like, it really does always fall into place and you just have to trust it. And I think I remember like just before I met my boyfriend, I was like, will I kind of ever meet someone that I will feel all the things that I'm craving to feel and, you know, have a relationship that I dream of? And yeah, it's just so crazy being where I'm at now. And like, I think that thing of saying like, I still want to feel so clear and connected to myself and my purpose. I feel like it's a huge thing for me when I'm with people to like tend to maybe like lose myself in them. And I really wanted a relationship that really pushed me to keep putting energy into myself and the things that I want to contribute into the world. And it just really feels like I'm just in this point right now, and there's so many things that I could say, you know, aren't perfect or that I'm still working towards. But I think that's what I love so much about doing these reflections and intentions every year, is that like I get to look back at it and just feel so grateful for like all of these little blessings that, you know, often by the time we get there, like I could be like, oh yeah, this is my life now, but like January Joy only could dream of the life that I'm living now. And it's such little things. I'm so happy and I'm so content, and there is so much about my life that is so right. Okay, so after I do plenty of reminiscing, clearly, I like to just step into my yearly reflection where I use these journal prompts / questions every year to kind of go over the year, process it, see all of the little blessings, the things I learnt throughout the year. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I feel like the question I always struggle with is the 5 selfless acts I did for others this year. I think it just reminds me every year that it's so easy to just get so absorbed in our own life that we can kind of forget to dedicate a lot of time to just do things for others. Personally, I like to kind of write down and leave room for all of the things so that it's already laid out, and then afterwards I go in. I mean, you can kind of do it whatever way you like, but I really like just having the layout ready to go, so then when I'm in the reflective zone, it's all kind of already templated out for me. Okay, it is time for the fun part. Now we get to actually manifest and plant seeds for the year ahead. I feel like these questions are quite simple, but I'm always surprised when I do them at how little thought I gave to these questions. Like, what are my priorities? What are my goals? It's stuff that we should know, but I feel like don't often make time to figure out. My tip with the future time capsule is just to get as detailed as possible and focus on the feeling. How do you want to feel as this future version of you in a year's time? And then of course end it with 10 actions for January, just to bring all of these dreams into grounded action of like, how can you actually create this change moving forward? I only have a couple more questions that I need to answer, but I think I'm going to do them later. I've learnt with these questions that it's okay to take your time, revisit them in a few hours, a week. I think it's good to process these questions and really like think about it and be intentional about your answers. Something that I did want to add though is that part of what makes these reflecting things and stuff so easy for me is that I actually do keep track of it throughout the year. The layout I like to do is have my top 3 favorites of the month. So every month I just write 3 random favorites. This can be a book, a song, a memory, anything you like. Then I also like to write my monthly favorite memory. So every month I just try to pick one moment from the month that felt like the highlight of the month. So usually then when I go to do my like yearly reflection, I already have all these memories that it's so crazy how they can be a highlight of a month and you can completely forget about them still if you don't write them down. For instance, I was reading all my monthly favorites from this year, and in January I wrote that one of my favorites was me and mum laughing so hard on our walk in New Zealand on our family holiday. And this was such a pure moment. We were all just doing like a little mini hike and we were playing like a game, and I remember me and mum were just losing it, like crying. Like my heart was so full of joy and love, and I just remember being like, these are just one of the moments in your life that, like, you know, before you die in a movie, how all the like memories flash of all the like joy and love and pain that you felt. I felt like that was one of those moments where I was like, this is just pure joy and love. And I don't know, reading that, it brought it all back to me. But if I had not wrote that, I would not have remembered that happened. It's crazy. And I feel like also as someone that like takes so many videos and takes so many photos, like, yeah, looking through your camera roll to remember what you did and stuff can help, but often the highlights and the most pure moments and like little random things that happen and not things that you end up taking photos of or filming. Personally, I find that so much of the best moments are just like when you're so present and there's no cameras. And so that's why I just love being able to track it and write it down, because it's truly crazy how much we forget. And then to balance it out as well, I always really love to write what obstacles I overcame every month. After I have written all of my intentions and goals for the year, that's when I like to go in and make my vision board. This is also a process that I usually do slowly over the end of December, beginning of January. I think it's nice to just like slowly add to it and curate it. You can also do it all in one go. I feel like one thing going into a yearly vision board, it's really also helpful to break it down into themes. I have a little list of themes here that you can kind of use as a guide to like what you want to manifest on your vision board. So the themes or areas can be health, career, wealth, travel, family, friends, lifestyle, hobbies, and knowledge. I'm looking at it right now, but I'm gonna put my vision board for 2024 that I made here. I get so shy sharing my vision boards just because they feel really personal, and I feel like there's something so vulnerable about like expressing to yourself but also to other people like the things that you desire, because I feel like for me it's that fear of like, oh my god, it's so vulnerable to want something and not know if you're gonna get it. So I'm not gonna share my vision board for 2025, but I thought it'd be cute to just look over the one I made for this year. I'm not gonna explain every single photo because I don't think you guys care, but I'm just gonna point out a few photos and why I put them on there and like why and how they manifested so well, starting with one that's kind of funny. But one of the biggest goals I had for this year was signing with a literary agent. I have a dream of one day publishing a book, and to get a book published, you usually need to go through an agent. That's kind of how you reach out to publishers generally. This was all new information to me, but to get an agent is a whole thing in itself. So that was like a really scary, fun goal that I had this year. And I remember when I was making my vision board, I put this photo in the middle of the Dolomites, the Italian Dolomites. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go overseas or not, but I was like, I just really have always wanted to go there, and I was like, I'm just gonna put it on the vision board. I just had this gut feeling. Cut to March, I have a meeting with this beautiful woman that like helps creators connect to agents. On the call, our first call, when we're like getting to see if we can work with each other, if we can make it happen, I'm like, where are you? She goes, the Italian Dolomites. I'm realizing now it sounds really crazy and you guys are probably like, this bitch just trying to like connect all the dots. But honestly, I was like shook. I don't know if you guys can see in that photo, but there's literally one woman standing there, and this woman happened to be in the Italian Dolomites and ended up like being such a big pivotal role of me achieving my goal of getting a literary agent. Another funny thing, for instance, is I put a photo of Camilla Maroon, I've never know how to pronounce her name. I just thought she looked really cute and beautiful, and I was like, I really want to emulate that energy. I have had so many people message me this year. I've kind of had it my whole life, but like specifically this year, like literally sending me photos of her and being like, oh my god, you look so much like her. Personally, I don't see how we look similar, but the fact that other people are saying it means I'm definitely emulating some sort of Camilla energy, which I'm happy about. As you can see, there is like a few kind of like couple photos as mentioned in this video, not to make it all about love and relationships, but like this year I really did have a goal of hopefully like falling in love and being in a relationship. So I remember putting that photo of a couple that I thought seemed really cute online and being like, I'm calling in that type of love, and I wrote deep, true, sustaining, nourishing love, and I feel very happy to say that I feel like I have that now. What the heck? There's literally probably a story to every single photo on here, but I'm just going to finish with, it's funny that I have the reading is sexy in the corner. That was kind of trying to symbolize me trying to read more this year, but I think the universe interpreted it wrong because I didn't read as much as I would have liked this year. However, a PR company sent me that exact top. That's when you like have to be kind of specific with the universe and you're like, I didn't care about the top, I just wanted to read. But we learn. That's why we are intentional with our vision boards. As you guys can see, the way I like to do my yearly vision boards is just to collect all the photos on Pinterest and then kind of lay them out, collage them on like Canva or Photoshop. I know a lot of people like actually printing out the photos and making a collage on a board and paper or in a sketchbook or whatever, which I think is so cute and I love. If you don't feel like printing out a bunch of photos and doing the whole sticking process, which can be very therapeutic, so recommend. But if you're like me and don't want to do that, just having them laid out and having this photo just like sitting on your desktop so you can just kind of open it whenever you want has been really beautiful for me. The last thing, this is a new thing that I've started doing for my little end of year New Year ritual is to create a yearly mantra. I've tried to start getting better and leaning into the affirmations, the mantras. I think it can be a really like scary, cheesy, hippie thing, you know, to be like, I am love, I am light, you know, all of the things. But I do feel like the more I've done it, and when I get over the ego of doing it, I'm like, actually saying these words is really helpful, and having these mantras to kind of lean on throughout the year when things are hard is really helpful. So for instance, the mantra I had for 2024 that I wrote at the beginning of this year is go slow, step by step, it's all going to come to you, just you wait. So you can really create any sort of mantra that you feel like you want to lean on, and I feel like after doing all the questions and doing the vision board, hopefully you have more clarity on like the energy that you want to go into for this new year. You can look on Pinterest for affirmations online. You can just make one up, either having it as like a screensaver or writing it and like having it near your mirror or on your fridge so you can just see it all the time is really nice. So yeah, that's all my New Year's rituals. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of it. Please let me know if you tried any of this. I'm constantly trying to remind myself that the universe has a magical way of working and you kind of have to trust it. I love you guys so much. Happy New Year, and I'll see you all in 2025. Crazy.